What there will be is a digital revolution. And I think we're already seeing it right now. And like a revolution, it goes round and around and around and around, and momentum makes it get faster. It's accelerating rather than slowing down. So whether it is creating additional ways by which customers can interact and transact, so to deepen the relationship, to deepen the number of activities that the customers are going to be performing through digital, whether it is through online, as the illustration shows, or increasingly if it is through the mobile device as well. I tend to think we're going more mobility than we are going down the path of PC and laptop-based banking. That boat has perhaps sailed, and therefore, I love Lucky's remark about copying. Copying is actually okay. Now, there's that lovely expression, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. There's also the fact of thinking, why, as an emerging economy, as a growing banking sector, do we have to replicate what other banks in other economies did 10 years ago? We can just use the latest technology, the latest thinking, and we can leapfrog all of that, and we can get there so much faster. Because, the great thing, almost the cool thing for me to speak about, is that we are not waiting for technology to catch up to make this vision that I'm articulating come to life. The technology exists today. We've built it for you. We've built that Ferrari. It's right outside. The keys are in the ignition. You want to come jump in the car? It's there for you right now. So we're not waiting for technology to catch up. It's there and it's ready, it's available today. And I must also recognise, it's remiss of me to have not done this already, that there are many of you in this room who are already working with us on this digital transformation journey. We're helping you. Lucky's providing support as well at local level, so thank you for participating already and buying into this belief, this vision that we at MySys have to how to make your customers have a better experience. For the IT professionals in the room, there's something for you, which is, what am I actually seeing in terms of IT transformation trends? I've covered the market trends a little. So one of the things that's most encouraging is that there is growth, not just in the desire to want to make these changes happen, there is growth also in the amount of money which is being spent. I'm not sure how well this translates across the world, but an expression that I like to use is champagne tastes but orange juice money. Sometimes you need to invest in the technology, or another expression, again popular in England, you cannot make an omelette without breaking eggs. So there has to be some level of investment that makes all of this come to reality. It ain't free, nothing is in life. But if I look at where these spending trends have been, is that there is now clear, tangible evidence. And I'm sorry for those at the back who may be struggling to see the font size on my slides, so make sure you have a copy of all of my presentation materials, is that there is a 9.2% CAGR, compound annual growth, in investment in digital channel software in this region between 2015 and 2018. Fabulous. So it's not just a theory of MySys saying this needs to happen. That, again, love the expression of let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's not just talk a good game, let's deliver a good game. Let's play a good game, and let's win when we play. I've mentioned this thin ice concept around the legacy infrastructure becoming a challenge. And so that's there, that exists. And I would say the more mature institutions have to have that transformation strategy. Now the good thing about MySys, and for those of you that are customers running on some of our software that's perhaps dated back a few years, is that it does have resiliency. It is robust, it is stable. And again, another cliche, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What I would say is that that's absolutely true, but at the same time, we need to help you evolve your IT infrastructure so that it runs the very latest software for supporting the latest ways of interacting. Does anybody have an iPad on them right now? Is an iPad in the room? Can you hold it up for me? Okay, so the iPad is celebrated its 5th birthday in April. It's been there for 5 years. It's now becoming quite pervasive, it's quite well used, perhaps not to every area of society, but it's an accepted technology. 5 years. There are banking systems in this world, not necessarily in Zimbabwe, there are banking systems in this world that date back and are still in use today to 1963, before man stood on the moon, before Steve Jobs was even out of high school, before that iPad was even dreamt of as a thing in a science fiction film. The point I make is this, is there are these new technologies which are coming faster and faster and faster. The next generation, the children, I love this, I think it's brilliant from a societorial aspect, but the children that this is designed to protect and this is designed to help them have a better life, your future generations are going to be working far more with technology than this generation ever did. So this idea of adapting to the new technologies is, I think, really, really important. How can we do that in a country where there's legacy technology which was never designed to operate with smartphones, with tablets, even with basic mobile phones? Okay. Here comes the hype. Big data is something which has this halo effect around it. So big data, what is it? It's using all the information being created to create some insights into your operational activities. Big data in Africa isn't big yet, it's not big in Zimbabwe, but it will grow because your success, just like my 4 pillars that I showed earlier, your success will be based upon the ability to harvest the information that your customers are giving you. So you know much more about your customers at a granular level. Not just looking at them through binoculars, but looking at them through a microscope. Not just being able to look back historically at what happened and to think, that wasn't great, how could we improve in the future, but to be able to predict the future. And we do that, and I'm actually going to break with something that Bhavesh said a moment ago, and Lucky said, I'm actually going to name one of our products. We now have a new product called Fusion Banking Insight, which will give you all of that insight into your customers to allow you to give them the better experience. With the better experience comes greater trust. When it comes greater trust, there comes greater share of wallet. With greater share of wallet comes greater revenue. Everybody's happy. But it starts at the bottom, the value of the information. And I've been talking largely about individual consumers, citizens. There's also the SMB aspect, the small medium businesses, who I think are underserved at the moment, and who will have a particular requirement, whether it's around payments, whether it's around lending, and to help boost their liquidity. So I think the ability to create some online activities that support their needs is also very important. But none is probably more important than this, which is the ability to extend the use of digital channels by which to grow revenues. Now, if we look at this sort of channel mix around the right-hand side, your branch network, your contact center, your ATM or kiosk, PC, mobile, social, and your customer in the center. That's your typical kind of composition of a banking channel distribution network. It's going to change a little bit in the future. Now, what's the future look like? It looks like that. What did the future look like yesterday? That. What will it look like tomorrow? That. Branch networks still remain. ATMs still remain. I've had arguments. As you may guess, I quite like an argument. I've had arguments for years and years and years with everybody that says, the branch is dead, no one wants branches, no one wants agent networks, and it's all about mobile, get rid of them, nobody wants a cat. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. People need to be able to go and look at somebody and engage with them when you're doing a certain transaction. You're applying for your first loan. Do you want to do everything through the mobile device? Would you like to sit there with somebody and shake their hand at the end, thinking, I trust this person, I've now got, and I would say that lucky saved my life yesterday because I've got a personal relationship with somebody that I can now trust. But from a digital standpoint, this part here is so embarrassing that I'm going to have to confess that right now, whilst we talk about digital, about how transformative it can be, I'm not sure, let me just trick test something. Good, it does have it. My red circle is highlighted because right now, again, this is a global number rather than the Zimbabwean one. But if I look at the amount of revenue being made through digital channels, only 1.1% of sales of bank products come through mobile, come through digital. I'm not going to state the obvious and go, that's really bad, which I guess I just did. What I'm going to say is, what a huge opportunity to grab. Whether you're in Zimbabwe, whether you're in Zambia, whether you're in somewhere else beginning with Z, is that you've got a huge opportunity to say, we want to engage much more. I quite like statistics, you can do lots of things with them. But if I look at where the likely growth in terms of sales through digital channels is going to be by 2018, we can see that, let's call it a simple product sale. It all starts to migrate. Yes, there's going to be online, but it's a huge growth now in coming into the mobile aspect. So without wanting to try and flog the dead horse, is that if you don't have that digital strategy, not just to allow customers to engage, but to allow you guys to sell things to them, you'll never maximise the opportunity that quite clearly exists. I showed you some the CAGR figure earlier on, that 9.2% growth to 2018. I think it's also significant, and you won't have any idea what that says at the back, so forgive me, I'll walk you through it. So these are the products, the channels, the customer service and experience, the sales and marketing, and the investment in processes. There's a question that was asked of the global banking industry, which did you expect basically to see more spending or less spending in these areas? And I guess it's 2014, so not 2015, but also I think still a reliable set of numbers. And it's really good. But actually, for me, there is now this desire to want to invest in innovation. So it's not to try and pretend that we're innovating as an industry, it's actually to say, we are going to get some money from our pockets, we're going to put it on the table, and we are going to expect something to happen. Of course, there has to be that return on investment, there has to be a good business case. But if I was to have this conversation with you in June 2014 or June 2013, it wouldn't look like this. It would look like much more caution. So, encouragingly, and this is how the industry is going to transform and how it develops, it's about investing. Speculate to accumulate. Spend to grow.